Hello everyone! This is a what's for dinner video with the recipes. This is my fiance's authentic Mexican ground beef taco recipe with our homemade tortillas that his mother taught me how to make about 7 years ago when I was pregnant with our child, Austin. If you follow these simple steps, you also can have these super soft, pliable flour tortillas at home as well. And trust me, they taste 100 times better than store-bought tortillas. I used to make and sell these in our community, and I even sold them to restaurants. So trust me, you're going to want to try these. Now first you're going to start with 6 cups of all-purpose flour. This batch will make about 32 tortillas. You can either cut the recipe in half or store the extra dough in the freezer. And then you're going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of salt, and then a half cup of olive oil or oil of your choice. Now you can either mix this by hand, or if you have a mixer, you're going to keep mixing until it's kind of like a wet sand consistency. And then if you're using a mixer, switch your mixer to your kneading hook. And then at first add about 8 ounces of warm to hot water. And then slowly add the rest of another 8 ounces of water. Now you might not use all of the water, it really depends on how the dough comes out. You do not want the dough to be too sticky. And if it is too sticky, you can always add a little bit of extra flour as you go. And then lightly flour a countertop and start kneading with your hands a little bit until it becomes smooth on the opposite side where your hands are. Pinch it together in the middle, flip it over, and then you can cut it into 4 pieces. And then use the same kneading process for each of the balls. And then you're going to wrap each of these into a plastic wrap and let them sit for about half an hour. And while you're waiting, you can start working on the rest of the meal. Now we can start on the rice. I'm using a pressure cooker here, but you can also use a pot on the stove. So use about 3 tablespoons of canola oil. I'm using 2 cups of rice. Keep that on low heat and you're going to give it a little bit of a fry. And then add 1 teaspoon of cumin, 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, and give that a good stir. And then you can add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of tomato sauce and 2 teaspoons of chicken bouillon powder. If you don't have this on hand, you can omit this. Add 2 cups of water. If you're cooking long grain rice on the stove, you're going to cook this for about 25 minutes covered. And with the pressure cooker, I cook it for about 8 minutes. Now you can go back to your tortilla dough. I like to roll it into a log and tear it off with my hands, or you can also use a pastry cutter. And then you're going to use the same pinching method as we did prior and start to form each tortilla dough. And then place them back in the plastic wrap and let them sit until you're ready to roll them out and cook them. Now for the ground beef, I'll be using about 2 pounds of ground beef, and you're going to dice 2 Roma tomatoes. You can use whatever tomato you prefer. If you're using a bigger tomato, I would use 1. And then dice half of an onion. And about half of a bunch of cilantro. And then you can start browning your meat. And then once it's completely browned, you can add in all those vegetables. Keep it covered as it cooks, and you're going to let it simmer until the vegetables are soft. And then you're going to add 2 teaspoons of salt to the meat, 2 teaspoons of sazon, and 2 teaspoons of adobo. And then you can keep it on low heat until you're ready to eat. Now you can go back to your tortilla dough, put some flour on it, and start rolling it out. Make sure you have any type of pan for the stove on medium to high heat. Carefully add the tortilla to the pan until it starts to bubble, and then you can flip it. I would give it about 15 to 20 seconds on each side. Once the rice and the meat are done, you can start making your plate. And of course, please make your taco however you'd like, whichever way you prefer. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Please don't hesitate to ask any questions in the comment, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And I would love to hear if you do try this recipe. I hope you enjoy. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.